Yeah, it's good. It's good. Whoa, what is going on?
Whoa, whoa.
I guess double thumbs up is where I get the fireworks. But yeah, Young and Alex. The first question I really wanted to dive into, because I remember when you guys joined, Young wasn't even in the UK yet as well, and it wasn't that long that you made this post on the Facebook group. I'm gonna read parts of it, and I'm gonna ask you a question right after that. But pretty much, you and Alex made this post. Hi, me and Alex wanted to share some good news. In January, we made our first 10K cash month. I thought it
Mm.
was a one-off thing and some seasonal luck, but actually we hit another 10K month in February and even better, a $16,000 month in March. I didn't know I'd ever see this kind of money at this stage in my life. What I thought was really crazy is, especially when you did move to the UK with Alex and everything, didn't even have a wedding portfolio. How did that happen? Break down the journey that happened from when you made the move to building the business from scratch. How long did it take to hit that 10K month? What did you guys do? All that type of stuff.
Yeah, so we first joined WLMA in August, August last year.
Yeah.
And back then, yeah, we were in different jobs and we didn't have any wedding work whatsoever. And I didn't even have like a professional photographer experience as well in other fields. Yeah, I just had some freelance work here and there. Yeah, so we just had some friends and family members who just two of them who were getting married or got married very recently, so they were very kind to let us take some photos of them. And then
Yeah.
yeah, and then I also messaged about we messaged about 100 different photographers asking for some, but like if they can take me on the as a second shooter for their wedding, they don't have to pay me or anything. I
Oh, one pause real quick. I think it's breaking up a little bit. Can you guys hear me okay?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, let's restart maybe like 30 seconds. I'll try
Yeah,
to I'll edit a little bit there as
yeah,
well. Like
that's
it broke up a little bit, but
yeah.
it broke up where you started on talking, you worked with friends and then
Mm.
started reaching out to photographers, start around there.
Yeah, and all that process took quite a while because yeah, we were moving and um and also like photographers for them to take some time for us to like reply back to us, that took a while as well.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
not everyone
Yeah.
has work that they're comfortable with you just jumping into the wind. They have to
Yeah.
wait for the opportunity as well.
Yeah, exactly. And also, if we comment on Facebook group, like looking for second shooters, and loads of people comment as well. So it was quite hard to find that first wedding opportunity. Yeah, but then after when we got one sorted, we have been very lucky to have found the person, and we still keep
Nice.
in touch with that photographer and help out here and there.
The
Yeah.
That's
first
awesome.
one was a really nice venue too, which
Yeah.
really helps.
Yeah, it really helped us in terms of like to understand like what kind of clients we want and what kind of venues we would like to work for as well, and kind of
Exactly.
gave us a good idea of like where we want to be. Yeah, and also yeah, and after we got like free engagement sessions for our friends and one wedding experience like that, we used them as our portfolio to run the competition, the engagement
Mm,
competition. Yeah, and then we accepted a lot of people just so we can build
yeah,
like loads of portfolio and just get familiar with how to work with couples and the photography skill. Yeah, and then yeah, and then in November we found this. Yeah, so from August to about October, we were building portfolio, moving and setting up
mm,
website, everything. So it was only late October we managed to run like the engagement session competition and
Mm.
actually have the shoot set up from November. Yeah, and yeah, and then some clients said no, but it was a third call we had with one or like the third couple we did the engagement session for. And I think in like looking back in the grand scheme of all the couples we worked with, they really clicked with us, like culturally and like age-wise, and also their budget and loads of different things. Like I think like even if I were, I don't know, it's like, yeah, a lot of it was resonating with the clients, than my actual sales skills, because it was only the third call in.
I was just gonna jump in and say, like, that's one thing that might be motivating for people who are scared to jump on the sales calls, or people who yes, like they're very new to it. Like now she's really confident and
That's
like
awesome.
so smooth for sales calls, but those ones she was so unbelievably nervous, and they still wanted to buy despite the sales call not being, it was well structured, but despite it being like really her being really nervous and it being a little bit all over the place, they still wanted to buy it.
Exactly.
Because they liked her and she liked
Love
her.
that.
Yeah, I think they could trust me easier because we had a lot of overlapping points.
Yeah, and that's super important as well, because even if you mess up a lot, you know, it's all about that energy too. Like there's the right authentic energy. And if people fall in love with it and you have that right framework, even if you mess up, you can you can book a lot from there. And so I'm gonna back up a little bit so people taking notes can kind of have this. So maybe it took about, you moved to the UK, maybe it took about 2 months to build up a mini portfolio, it sounds like. So working with some friends, finally finding a photographer who lets you kind of get that first opportunity to second shoot and everything. And from there, we're able to start to build momentum. And at first, I guess on around month 3, that's when you guys really dove into finally having set up to launch the model call contest with the ads. About how long did it take to hit your first 10K month as well, once you started launching those campaigns?
I believe within like half a month to a month. I'm not sure the exact timeline, but it was very quick.
Wow, that's awesome.
Surely having many people see our advert and know about our brand without feeling like they're being sold to is what got the attention. Like many people, I believe, saw the competition. They didn't even enter it. They were just like, "Oh, this is interesting. Let's look into them," and inquired. Like that was it. And one thing to mention is we were not we were quite excessive with the money we were spending on ads. Like where obviously you take the safe approach and advise maybe like 250 to 300 pounds per month. I was going like 500 or something like that, because I just knew that it was an investment.
Exactly.
And that's not the best option for everybody, but because of our location too, and because of the season of the time of year, it was really helpful for us. It got lots of eyes on the
That's
work.
amazing.
Like Diane said, with the second shooting, working at a nice venue, and taking really good photos of the couples we did the engagement shoot for. Just inquiries just started coming in.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I want to dive into that a little bit too when it comes to like the leads you guys are getting, how you guys nurtured those leads. But so students can get a feel of where you guys felt like you were too before joining the WLMA. Where did you guys feel like your biggest ceilings were, roadblocks? Did it have to come with attention in the first place? Did it have to come with how you communicated with clients? Where did you guys feel like your biggest obstacles were before joining the WLMA?
A lot of things, but like I think so we talked about starting this business, but we lacked a lot of like it was hard to understand where people go wrong and how to speed things up. And also just how to market ourselves and find our clients. And it just felt so overwhelming, and we didn't know or I didn't know where to start with this whole journey. And it's not something that we can do over a long, like it's not something we can just quickly whiz up in a month, just like to start from nothing. Yeah, so it took about like 6 months to get going for us because we started from literally zero. Yeah, so
Wow.
yeah, so
Yeah.
having that plan, like a plan to stick to, was really important, because if we were to do this alone, like we didn't know whereabout we were in this whole long journey, and also we couldn't like we didn't have anyone to really share the experience of like some rejections, and like if this is normal, or which is like really a normal part of the whole journey to,
Exactly.
yeah, to just get more professional. But yeah, I think without all the community support, it would have been really hard to hard to know like how to have a plan that we can stick to. Yeah.
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 That's so true. It's like when you first start a business, when
Hmm.
you first get started, it's like you just have this clump of clay. And
Yeah.
then once you start learning things, you start learning about branding, you start learning about sales, you start learning about funnels. It's like you start chipping away little by
Yeah.
little, and it starts really to start to look like something. And then you have this framework, and then you just get to fine tune it and everything as well.
Yeah.
I know a lot of students are gonna have questions when it comes to how you've been running your ads, how you've been nurturing your leads. So it sounds like you guys have been spending maybe around 500 pounds per month on ads.
Yeah,
What's the average cost per lead you guys have been getting with the model call campaign? Is the model call campaign main one you guys have been running as
it
well?
is. It is. Yeah. So, I mean, we've spent a lot of money because some months to begin with, spent like 500, 600. Then when it went well, because we had enough free cash flow, I was like, let's invest like, let's invest. So we were spending, not always the smartest move in retrospect. I didn't track well enough to see how much of that was actually coming from the money I was putting back in, how many of the leads, because it can be hard to track.
Yeah,
But some months we were spending like up to £2,500 a month. But because
yeah,
we're making 16, if you make like £16,000 in a month, it seems somewhat sensible. Um,
exactly.
but looking back, it was maybe a bit excessive. So in terms of ads, in terms of ads, we mainly run the model call, and we get cost per lead at about £1.50 per lead, but it can go all the way up to £5.
Oh, wow, that's really cheap. One to
Yeah,
five
so
pounds
like
per
when it's
lead. That's awesome.
£1, it's awesome, and we get lots of leads. Like between 4 to, on a really good day, 10, on a bad day, 4, and it's been like
Wow,
this the whole year.
that's
But
amazing.
all of them are qualified. A
What
lot of
did
them.
you guys feel got your lead costs really low with the model call? Was it photo choice? Was it the copy? Or did you guys feel was the biggest factor that got you really cheap leads?
Oh, I think I don't think this is that helpful for people, but it's the location was one of the big things. Because
Ah,
yeah,
So crowded.
it's such a dense area,
Yeah.
but that could be useful for some people
exactly.
if they can figure out which locations are dense and how to work with that. Maybe that could be useful. But
100%.
I think location also, Downs photos are very good, which is important too. I've definitely seen a range of different um like different types of photographies still get really good results, but having good work's really important, and Downs has some good photos
It
on
is super important.
like keeping our best on there.
There have been some students that have joined, and I've told them about your guys' story a little bit as well. And they're like, how did they do it? Like just starting out. I was like, I like never shooting a wedding in the first place. I was like, she has a great eye. She has a great eye, even though she was starting from scratch type of a thing, which is the work and the photos and the ads are super important. And that's super important as well, because a lot of people are like, there's a lot of competition around here. But if you run ads where there's just a lot of people, the algorithm can just find that audience much, much faster. And I think that's awesome. So I think that's a really
And
great note that people can take as well.
also, like, I think picking a good photos is important, but also picking photos that are like either bright colors or like things that will catch the
Mm,
attention, because it could be a really great photo from a photographer's perspective, but it might not be like a scroll stopping photo. in terms of
Ah.
like how it looks.
That's so true. We had one student where her ads weren't running, they were running okay. It was like kind of expensive leads. And then she chose one, it was kind of a cliche photo, like sunset type of a thing, but it was beautiful. And it's like what people wanted to see. And her ad exploded. Didn't change any copy, didn't change any targeting, just change it to this like this very vibrant sunset photo, and the ad exploded. Have there, along with very vibrant photos and colors, what else have you guys seen with the photos and the ads you guys have used that have performed best?
Okay, so um, a lot of the ones in London with like iconic backgrounds,
Hmm.
like people like those, they catch people's attention. There was one which we don't use it because it doesn't represent our brand super well, but just as an example, and if you've got like a really like fun, playful sort of um like that kind of brand, then
Yeah,
like we had one where taekwondo
Oh,
a taekwondo couple did this photo of
that's
like
cool.
kicking up together. It was really cool.
with a
Called
tower bridge in the
Tower Bridge in the
background.
background. They were up
Yeah.
together. That got lots of attention.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so notes for people as well. So one, vibrant colors, bright, key locations that are noticeable. Like,
Mm.
let's say if you're in France or something, using something like right by the Eiffel Tower, probably getting a lot of clicks, a lot of views
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Mm.
Um, Getting a feel of this as well. And I wanted to mention this. You mentioned that when we were talking about how much you're spending on ads, that maybe wasn't a good idea. And I disagree, because
Oh
especially when it
wow.
comes to ad spend, it really depends on your risk tolerance,
Yeah,
on
that's
the
true.
risk tolerance that you really have. And
True.
sometimes when you see things, if you start building up cash flow, and you notice like, man, I'm getting XYZ amount of leads whenever we push this in. We know we're having all these newly engaged couples going through our funnel. Like let's pour more fuel in the fire.
Yeah,
And I think that's 100% a great strategy.
yeah,
Important to track the data, all that type of stuff, but like it really depends on the student's risk tolerance. If you're like,
yeah.
we're getting $5 leads, I'm okay. We just booked a $5,000 wedding. I'm okay with dropping 1,000 of this like into more ads.
Mm,
You know, that attention is huge because some of it's going to convert right away, maybe in 30, 60 days. Some of it, they may be really early in the journey, but now they may be converting in 90, 180 days. And we have this huge layer of attention now where we can just build a compound effect. And I think it seems like
totally.
that's how you guys have hit 6 figures, correct, already your first year in
Yeah,
business,
yeah.
because you've gotten to have so much attention within just the first 3, 6 months in business, and you're able to capitalize off of it, whether if they win the model call contest or they don't. You have all these people in your funnel that are now aware of your brand. And I know a lot of students are going to have a lot of questions about this. Um, Now, you're getting all these leads, you're putting a lot of money in ad spend. What has been both your strategies for nurturing these leads to raving fans, converting them into weddings as well?
Mm. So we post every day on Instagram, like
Mm.
really good photos, like really good photos of each couple. And because we shot that many couples, it didn't feel that repetitive.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. And also, um,
One thing to add in there is
yeah.
on top of running the model call ad I didn't mention
yeah.
earlier, we run two other ads which helps with us
Mm.
posting every day. We run one which is also retargeting ad. So those same people get to see our Instagram,
Mm,
and then the algorithm shows our daily posts to them more. And the
Uh,
other one is just like a random,
mm,
just shows engaged people.
mm,
A post from us saying like, we're so grateful for the amazing all the love you've shown us this year. Like it sounded like more of a just sort of
mm.
Like it's not trying to sell anyone anything, but it's more of a brand.
Exactly.
But yeah, so
Gotcha.
every day.
Yeah, and also I think in terms of email series, we do need to work on it more because when we
Mm.
set up, it was just a lot to manage. So we just generated a lot of the automatic blog posts that sort of like that we thought resonates with our brand. So yeah, we
Yeah.
just set that up like about 100 of them or something, 50
Yeah,
to
to last. Like, we
100.
wanted to email chain to last. So
Yeah.
every 3 days, people got an email from us for like the next year or like and a half.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, we didn't hear that many people who came to us saying like talking about email series that much. So I'm not sure
Yeah.
how effective that really was. And when we have like I really want to write the blog post myself because like I think it really like is the words have more like persuasion and a bit more influence when it's genuinely from us. Yeah, even if like
Yeah.
that's just what I thought. And so yeah, that's something I really want to work on and write something that actually is exciting.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
So correct me if I missed anything here. So obviously getting the attention first from that model call ad, and then we're getting them into the newsletter first, and then from the newsletter getting them to your Instagram. Is that correct?
So we send out, yeah. So when people apply, just export everything to a CSV, put that in MailChimp, welcome to the competition, and you know, keep them in that funnel. And then we just send out a text to everyone who enters, just welcoming them onto a call and telling them to message instead of messaging us through text, to message us through Instagram, because we have a bit more leverage there. We have some followers, enough to establish a bit of authority, and we have like the Meta verified tag. Just these little things do have an impact on how people perceive you. So yeah, we try to get them from text to messages on there to set up a call, and that's where Diane can get to know them and see if they fit with her. And if
also,
it would work.
also before they join on the call will be to decide if they are winners or not. We also send out a video of me just talking about the competition. So it just builds a bit more trust, like when you see someone's face and you realize they are an actual person with an actual interest in providing something valuable. Yeah, so yeah, quite a few couples said like they trusted the competition after they saw the video. Yeah, and yeah. Oh, I think you're muted. Oh, Jordan, I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I muted. I muted myself because I was coughing.
Oh, okay.
And what are you texting them as well after they join the contest and everything to get them to follow you on Instagram? What is that message?
I can look right now. So firstly, the video idea we got off. Oh, I'm so sorry, I've forgotten the names, but there was the couple, the guy's from Britain, and his wife is from America. And they hosted a workshop. So they were the ones who taught us the idea when we watched that workshop a while back. So let's have a look at what we text people.
Oh, I think that was Monica.
That's it.
Sam and Monica.
Sam and Monica, yeah, they were lovely enough to share that with everyone.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to find the text now.
Yeah, you're good.
But let me see if I can think of it off the top of my head. You can edit this, can't you? You don't mind me looking for it.
No, you're good. You're good. And is it kind of like welcoming them to the contest, asking them to follow you guys on Instagram?
Yeah. Okay, so it's this thing. Hi, thank you for entering the competition. Yeah, here's a video to see that we're real, and this is it'll tell you a little bit about the competition. But I think it says before that, like, you've been selected as in the like as a finalist, and we really love to get to meet you. Learn a little bit about us, and then please can you DM me on Instagram with the Instagram name so we can set up a Google Meet, the three of us, and get to know each other a little bit. That's it.
Awesome. And then what have you guys done with people who weren't finalists? Like they're just in your funnel. what have you guys done there to kind of nurture them on email and then maybe get them to follow you on Instagram? What does that look like?
Yeah, so the people who we didn't select as winners, we offered them a discounted engagement session. Yeah, so they got
Ah,
everything the same, like it's just like discounted price. Yeah, they
love
didn't
that.
like we didn't take anything out because they like yeah, I want to give like a full service, and
Exactly.
yeah, and I think around Valentine's and up until June or July, or I don't know, like till August even, loads of people wanted the discounted engagement sessions. Yeah, so that was a big
Ah,
touch point because they got to see how I work and how I interact, and yeah, I
I
think that's a
I
big.
think that's so important as well. A
Mhm.
big thing as well, because how I always viewed it, I always viewed the engagement session as a lead magnet, no matter
Mm,
how we used it, whether if it was full priced, whether if
mm,
them someone wanted, whether if there was a special offer or
mm,
something. It's 100% the fastest route from stranger to raving fan. Like,
yeah.
because on in an online funnels, it could take 7 to 20 touch points to turn that person to be like, okay, I want to work with this brand. But if they have that engagement session with you, whether they want it, whether it was a special offer, whether if it was full priced, that one engagement session can turn them to want to work with you right away, pretty much.
Yeah,
And so I
yeah,
think that was really smart, where you had the winners, you had a special offer, for people who weren't winners. And then for those who didn't move forward at all with an engagement session, we still have the online funnel as well.
yeah.
And one thing also to add is Diane calls with as many of them as possible, which is really important
Mm,
because that means like she's chatting with almost everybody and trying to build a connection. and
exactly.
and so because if you just text them a discounted engagement offer,
Mm,
like after they haven't even talked to you in person, like on a video chat, there's no
Yeah,
sort of connection or trust there well to
mm,
the same level.
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I think we still have to wait from the people who had the discounted engagement session, see if they actually are interested in coming back because they were such like they weren't selected most of them because they were at such an early stage of planning their wedding. Yeah, like they didn't
Yeah.
have the venue or they weren't even looking for like they weren't even planning. So I think we're still waiting to see what impact that has. But one of the couples we did offer the discounted engagement session. She loved the photos that much that she didn't even want to consider other photographers. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, and we were slightly over their budget, but they were willing to like stretch as much as they could to hire us. So that was a really successful
Hmm.
example.
Love that. Love that. I know a lot of students may have a question with this, but let's say you, with those people that you had engagement sessions with, what did that customer journey look like once you had that engagement session with them to try to get that consultation or try to get that booking with them? What did that little gap look like there?
Yeah, so it's a lot easier when we actually can click. Yeah, because it just makes it so much more natural for me to bring it up, and also
Yeah.
they feel comfortable enough to bring it up to us
Hmm.
first as well. Yeah, but if they aren't friends, like if we look like we wouldn't even be friends like outside of this like part like a business client relationship, then they usually don't really bring it up, whatever the reason they have. Yeah.
Yeah. So connection was huge. One, bringing in the right type of clients. And then
Yeah.
two, just that connection, it just naturally unfolded to them booking with you from
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, and also like I did ask them a bit more about their wedding related things, so I just subtly like bring it up to their mind that maybe I could be their option. Yeah, so that
Yeah.
helped a bit, but yeah, it's still a really big learning curve that I'm like still trying to master because yeah, with some people who are really similar to me, it's much easier for that process to just happen very organically, but if
Yeah.
they're a bit different than like, yeah, I still need to learn more about sales and how to interact with those kind of people to build trust quicker. Yeah, so yeah, it's still like an ongoing process.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I hear you on that. Now, I'm really curious about this. When did you guys realize when you hit six figures, and how long did it take? What was your guys' reaction? And what is the revenue peak you guys have hit so far at this moment before 2025 as well?
So when you say revenue peak, what do you exactly mean? Like, what's the peak,
Um,
the highest month, the highest earning month, do you mean?
Highest value month, and then also top the what exactly revenue you guys have hit as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. So literally 100K, and we literally just hit that.
That's awesome.
But to be fair though, for like the last like ever since we were hitting like, well, in pounds it's like 80,000. So ever since we've
Yeah,
hit like 78, in my mind I've already hit it. We've already hit. You know what I mean? But yeah, literally in the last, I think this, when did the sales literally just come through for that one?
yeah,
And our highest month was the 20K month that we told you about, because
that's awesome.
it was January to, or December to like May time, where all the bulk of the sales came through. After that,
Mm,
for the rest of the months, we average like literally like 4K a month
yeah,
in all, there's like 4 to 5K a month um for the rest of the year, and then just this month it's gone back up. And so we were in our dip, and we were just thinking like, well, we really hope this is the seasonality that's doing this to us. Of course, marketing is the main driver, but that seasonality does have a play in it. Um,
100%,
and that's been
100%.
proven to us this month. Now it's kicking back in.
You're feeling the dramatic shift in seasons, and that's why we're always like, especially for like the students in the US and UK, it's like, man, new in the fall, that's when you want to push, because that's when like a lot of people are getting into that newly engaged journey, and it's often the people who find you in the fall that book you in the winter, you know?
Mm.
And when you guys realized you hit 100K, like what was your guys' reaction? Like, was it like, oh, we knew we'd hit it, or was it surprising, etc.?
Yeah, I mean it like I it was a very gradual process, so like it wasn't like a big surprise, but at the beginning of the year when we were getting loads of sales, like that really was
That was
like,
surprising.
yeah,
That
that
was
was a big surprise. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, I just couldn't believe it. Like first year into, like if this was a job and if I just got in and I'd got like maybe barely a year of experience, like people would never pay me that much. And yeah, and I would still be a junior photographer or whatever, and the work I would get would be very little or like barely anything, just setting up the light for the main photographer or something. But yeah, being in this job, like we can be very self-driven and
That's awesome.
improve as much as I want to at the speed I that works for me as well. Yeah, so what was the question again?
No, that answered. I was kind of getting a feel of how you guys felt when you guys hit
Yeah,
that level,
yeah,
and
like
I think proud of you guys as well, because the first 100K is
yeah.
for me personally, I think is the hardest goal, because you're shifting and shaping so much. And really the biggest thing now is like, if you guys want to continue scaling, is keeping the same layers that are getting you those results, and then figuring out how you can either amplify it or add on to it without necessarily getting rid of that layer that got you there. Because the big mistake I've seen some people make, where maybe they hit their first 100K, suddenly sometimes they just get bored and they totally change what they do when it comes to marketing, and I'll see them go from 200K and then suddenly they drop. But if you really like, you really pay attention to those variables, like pay attention to it like a scientist, you're like, this is everything that got us to 100K, like how can we amplify it, or how can we keep it consistent and add a layer to it without
Yeah,
getting rid of this. That's
that
how you
makes
guys can really keep things consistent. But congrats to you both. This is
Thank
super
you so much.
exciting.
Thank
And
you.
so now I know you guys after you mentioned that you guys are working on building teams and associates into your team and everything as well. Tell me a little bit about that. What has been your journey adding in associates? What's been some of the learning curves you guys have learned and your goals with doing this as well?
Yeah, so I would say, well, the way we first found our associates was by posting on Facebook groups full of photographers. You know those ones where photographers, you'll get like 200 comments from different photographers, which is amazing
Yeah.
because it gives you um, a whole list of different people who could fit your brand. And because Diane's really good at photography, it's easy for her to notice another person who's also good at photography. So
Yeah.
we just waited until we got a call with a couple that we couldn't book, and we were like, "This is the opportunity to learn how to do it." And then when we couldn't turn up, because we couldn't turn up for that after the call, like on the call, we decided then and there to present it like we us sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then um and then yeah, so then we found actually no, sorry, so we got the inquiry before we did the call. We found our first artist who's called Oksana, and she's talented. She's got like 10 years plus of experience.
That's awesome.
And yeah, when we had the call and we presented some of her work or our work as then yeah, we just set it up like that.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
I explained that terribly.
No, you're good. And what has been your guys' goal? Is it you guys want to just bring on a couple associates so you can kind of make sure you double book days? Is it to eventually build a big team? What do you guys have in mind as well?
Yeah, like we started looking for associates because we wanted to work get the weddings on the days that I'm booked or that we're away. And yeah, I think eventually like my goal is so like in the first company I worked at, they just had a really nice atmosphere among the team, just really
Yeah,
like like the I don't know, it was just such a funny office, and it was just so nice. Like they gave everyone birthday gift, and they held a really nice Christmas party. Just felt like a really nice community. So like it would be my dream to create something similar to that, where people really do feel like they're part of a lovely team and they're growing well, and yeah, just feel like they're treated well. That is
that's
like
awesome.
what I hope. But you also,
Yeah. So what? And after working with, because we found two people who work really well with us and they're really talented, and we just slowly started building up trust with them and giving them more stuff. And like over time, it's naturally sort of forming a team. It's not been anything formal. It's been like sort of them taking on weddings for us, doing more and more, and then slowly building
Exactly.
up that way. And in the process,
Love
we
that.
learn like how to work with them, and the process is naturally sort of get better. Like you were talking about refining things just by doing something at least, and then afterwards being like, yeah, how can we do it better?
Love that. Love that. So now, six figures, you guys, first year, starting to build up the team. What is next for you guys?
oh yeah, I would love to hit our goal again and do even higher the next year. Would be great if it's like 200K. That would be a
Awesome.
nice goal to set. But yeah, we'll see what happens then. We'll do our best. But yeah, and also it would be nice if like by this time next year we actually have a function, like because we're in the transition process from like just me as a photographer to like a whole team. We really want to
Yeah.
solidify that by next year. So like
Nice.
when clients come, they're not surprised by like the number of photographers we have, and like I just hope that we can build this brand into like when people come across it, it's just very it just makes a total sense that they are a group of 5 photographers or something. Yeah, so
Love
we
that.
yeah, that would be really nice.
And
Good.
I'm also thinking about like the main thing, of course, is demand, because when you've got lots of inquiries coming in and lots of opportunity to book calls, it becomes easy to then hire more photographers, hire people to help with the sales calls, and
Exactly.
so that's the main thing, is demand. So, like you said about adding layers on, definitely our goals would be to SEO is one
Yeah.
area we would need to focus on, but there's so many, and it's sort of picking the right one and focusing our energy on that, the right next step.
Mm.
Exactly.
And then there's also been thoughts in our minds of potentially like, how can we use the skills that we've built so far, and is there a way we can pivot to an area that has even more demand, constant demand, and
Ah.
use everything we've built to capitalize on that. But of course, there is the thought of like, is this shiny object syndrome? Is this the right move? But even if we did pivot slightly, I think we would still make sure to build on what we're doing right now at the same time.
Exactly. So it sounds like kind of working now towards that like lead generation trio type of a
Yeah.
thing. So for example, like with Hunter, it was like ads and then vendor referrals that got him to 200K a year. Or Manny and Ashley, it was like ads and then SEO that pushed it together and looking for that layer to really amplify things.
Vendor
So
referrals is important.
exactly. Now, I want to hear this from both of you. What is one piece of advice you'd have for students in the WLMA to get better, faster results, like you guys as well?
I would say shoot like yeah, shoot with couples as much as you can, because
Hmm.
like yeah, so we worked with, like, including engagement competition or paid engagement and weddings, we worked with more than 100 couples this year.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diane's work has got drastic. Like, her work was amazing to begin with. Like, the difference in skill like improved so much in
Yeah, it
one.
improved
That's awesome.
so much. Yeah, and
You have constant
Wow.
portfolio too,
Yeah.
like constant portfolio updates and Instagram
Yeah.
posts, and
Yeah. So a lot of engagement sessions. And
Yeah.
what have you found that conversion rate is, even a gist of like how many of the engagement sessions have been converting into bookings as well?
Oh, we haven't counted very well,
no,
but
but it's low. It's
yeah,
quite low.
it is quite low.
And we're working on that now. Like, how can, like, should we reframe it as like um, a complementary engagement session for potential clients, like a way to filter before, because of course free offers can attract people who only want free things,
Hmm.
and it's not always sustainable to work with such a high volume of people when you've got actual inquiries and weddings that you have to do,
Yeah.
unless you build a team to do that, but that can complicate things. So it's
Ah.
more refining the process. How can we attract more of the right?
I'll tag you. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this. I'll tag you to kind of what we did, and this helped pretty much Aiden get a 70% conversion
Yeah.
from like engagement session to booking. So I'll tag you that to you guys after. Hopefully that helps refine, because that alone, like if it's kind of low now, that alone might take you guys to 200K a year as
Sure.
far as that conversion rate. And curious, I meant to ask this earlier before we get to the question with you as well, Alex. You guys have been collecting a lot of 100% deposits. It sounded like from that post.
Pretty much all of them.
Yeah, how did you guys do to get 100% deposits, or did it just kind of happen, I guess?
So we offer incentive-based pricing. So
Ah,
yeah, so on the call, like at the end when we talk about packages, like we increased our price, so it's enough for us when we put that price off.
exactly.
So like and also we give like a really fat incentive offer, so at least £400 to up to £600,
Yeah.
depending on like then and there, depending on how, like what kind of feel I get from the couple. Yeah, and we only hold it for 3 days, so they have some time to
Gotcha.
think about it, and like if they don't want to miss the opportunity to save £500 or more, then they will get back to us and pay the amount in full.
And
Gotcha.
follow helps, because some people just actually forget. You
Yeah.
really have to, on the last
Yeah,
day
it's true.
or the night before, follow up and say, "Hi, do you have any questions before the offer expires tomorrow night? Is there anything you need help with?" And then people go, "Oh my God, yeah, let's do this."
Exactly. So pretty much just a really juicy pricing offer if they do 100% cash up front, which I think is huge. Like even when it's less, the 100% cash up front is so good for the business.
So good.
Cash is king when it comes to business, like for your marketing, for keeping it going, keeping the marketing going and everything. And as much as possible, if you can get 50%, 100% deposits versus smaller payment plans, it's really great for the health of the business. And also you, Alex, what is one piece of advice you'd give students in the WLMA to really amplify their results?
I would say surrounding yourself with with positivity in the in this sort of journey, like kind of immersing yourself in this group, and listening to like business positive stuff on in your free time. Like time you might watch wasting TV, or you waste watching TV or YouTube. If it's possible to replace any of that time with, positive like business or like entrepreneurial, there's lots of like YouTubers and podcasts, which I'm sure you know well, that are quite fun and entertaining.
Yeah,
And it really changes the way you think about this, because
so
there's
true.
lots of photography groups and communities where there can be a lot of negativity and a lot of
Yeah.
people who are really upset about how things are going, and that can really affect how the decisions you make in to work towards the business. And seeing your community full of people having wins and willing to help other people achieve that just makes you realize it's real. Because if you don't believe and you can't see that it's real, and that's actually happening to other people at your level with the same things you have, it's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah, I think that's so important because especially you don't see a whole lot of like the growth mentality, entrepreneurship mentality just in purely photography community sometimes. And if you can really put yourself into a community of like high achievers, entrepreneur mindset, growth mindset, it really changes things, even if you've been doing it for a while, I'm not sure if you guys have heard of like Ty Lopez.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love Ty Lopez, and he was yeah, in my garage. He was the first. I got his 67 steps like
Oh,
when we
really?
first got into
Social
entrepreneurship,
media
like
marketing
yeah,
agency.
a long time ago. And recently, because it's just a mindset thing, like entrepreneurship growth mindset. And recently, it was such a big impactful thing for Crystal and I. We bought it again. He redid it. We bought it again. And as at the end of the day, we'll just listen to it. And it just, when you put yourself in that mindset, it helps you problem solve things a little bit more. Put your head above, the trees a little bit more and see things in a different perspective, even if it's just a reminder of things that you've learned before. And
Sure.
so that's why like I love the community and everything here, because when students can feel like they're stuck, feel like they're upset about something going on in the business, or they're confused about something, you can just be in that mindset and hive of high achievers pretty much, and it can change the game in the direction of your business. But love that. Love that. Where can we find you? Where can we find you both as well?
Like where?
Instagram.
Sorry, what do you mean? Like
Like
where?
on
Oh yeah,
Instagram.
like social media or
Yeah,
websites type of thing. Where can we find you?
oh sure. So Instagram is rainstone.photography,
Awesome.
and our website is just rainstone-photography.com. But on
Perfect.
Instagram, if you have any questions or you need help with anything, you can just get in touch on there, and we'll be happy to help answer any questions.
Awesome. And for WLMA members, if you have questions after watching this, feel free to comment below this video and everything as well. But this is awesome, guys. Super helpful. I know it's going to be super helpful for a lot of our students. Congrats on hitting 6 figures. Excited to see what comes next. And thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
Thank you so much for your time as well. It was really lovely talking to you.
Absolutely.